15 degrees, you can see your breath. Out here in the lake of fact, breaking tables like it's poetry. Where else would you rather be? Pinto, Ron, Elvis, and the Lay Poncho. The members that you need to know. 'Cause once you out here now, your family. Where else would you rather be? Where else would you rather be?
Welcome into the Nickel City Crew. I am your host, Rob Crippen. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Nickel City Crew. This episode, along with all of our episodes, are presented by Crippen Legacy Entertainment here on Spreaker and StreamYard. We're so glad that you're joining us for some of your Buffalo Bills and NFL content again today. And as always, these are my Bills thoughts said out loud.
It's a vibe so ridiculous. Since 12 plus 83 was 6. The shout rocking like a symphony. Where else would you rather be?
All right, let's get straight to it. Really excited for tonight's episode. Sometimes things are just out of your control. Nickel City Crew, Bills Mafia, we all know that. So listen, from the bottom of my heart, I apologize for last week. I will take responsibility. It wasn't really in our control, but DT and I could not get on, technical difficulties. So what do, man? We just keep plugging. We just keep moving forward. Like Hank Schramm used to say, you just keep matriculating the ball down the field, gentlemen. Listen, joining me tonight for our offensive preview, riding shotgun, as always, my co-host Adam Dumptruck Rupsick. Check him out on Instagram and Twitter at Adam Rupsick, RUPCZYK. Holla at the crew, DT. We back, baby. I mean, we back. I mean, you can't stop us. You can't stop us.
Good clack, we back. No problem. Just a little week off. Just a little bye week in the preseason. Ain't nothing we can't handle. Nickel City. Rob, how we doing, baby? We're back on Friday night. Overwhelming support. Shout out to all our fans that, obviously we were crushed. We couldn't go last week. And the people reaching out to us that need it. They need our content. They need the crew, baby. So don't worry. We're back. You'll get it now. Let's go. Let's go.
I love it, man. Yes, and you're absolutely right to point to that, because I got some feedback as well from some of our fans who were wondering what the hell happened. You put out a promo Crip and said you were coming, and then you never showed up at 9:00. So again, I apologize. It wasn't on us necessarily, but as the leaders of the crew, we will take responsibility. But listen, we're back. Listen, big episode tonight. If you saw our promo today on Instagram, you will know that I'm really, really excited about our guest tonight. Now, our first guest that we're bringing up, listen, this is my Brazilian brother from another mother, man. I cannot wait one day to get down to Brazil for a myriad of reasons. But number one, to go ahead and visit my good friend. Listen, check him out on Buffalo Rumblings. You know him. He's already been here before. Welcome back, Fernando Schmude. Holla at the crew, Fernando. What's going on, man? Holla at the crew.
What's up, Rob? DT, good to be back here, man. And couldn't wait to join you and to talk some Bills. The wait is over, right? We'll see some Bills football tomorrow. And
that's right.
Yeah, can't wait, man.
Well, thanks for joining us tonight. We do have another guest as well, Nate Geary of WGR, who does, you'll know him from the post-game show and stuff like that. He'll be on a little bit later. He's at a golf tournament, but he is going to be joining us tonight to give some takes. But listen, let's kick it off, fellas. We've no time to waste. Listen, it's funny because when you talk about the 2026 Bills offense, it's interesting because everything has kind of changed. Everything that we have known has kind of changed, and it starts with the head man. And it's the reason that I named the episode the way that I did in respects to the fact that this is now Joe Brady's show. There's really nowhere to hide in respects to who you're pointing the blame at, who you're pointing the fingers at, different things like that when things don't go right. And it's funny because, Fernando, I wanted to kick it off. DT and I had talked off air, and it was funny because there's a prevailing sentiment out there, and I don't know how big of a percentage of the mafia feels this way. I know that I personally feel this way, but that a lot of people want to say, well, listen, when Brady came in a couple years ago, we all remember it was 12 men on the field. Dorsey gets fired after that Denver game, and then Brady comes in, and I always described it as he kind of performed triage. He was finding a way to just stop the bleeding. how do we stop the bleeding? And he leaned on the run game a lot that year. And then he actually leaned into it again the following year when he took over for full-time OC for a full season. It's interesting, Fernando, because I am under the belief that Sean McDermott, although he never called plays for the offense, and obviously he's a defensive guy, I thought that there was always like a governor. There was always like I don't know, something like when you working for your boss. DT has described it this way before, where you kind of want to make your boss happy. You kind of want to make your boss, happy with your work. And you might do things that are outside of your comfort zone to make your boss happy. How much effect did Sean McDermott have on Joe Brady and his play calling these last couple of years? Because for me, I think that we should see a new offense. Maybe you feel different. I don't know, but I'm very interested to feel and to hear how you think about it, because for me, there was a situation where we were so run heavy where I didn't really recognize Joe Brady. It was not the LSU, Joe Burrow, Joe Brady. It was not even the Carolina Panthers down here in Charlotte where I am, where he was throwing the ball so much that Matt Rule damn near wanted to kick him out and he got fired down here in Carolina. He leaned into the run game. Let's find a way to lean on our strengths. And I think that it was a product of what he was supposed to be doing, not necessarily what he wants to be doing.
Yeah, man. I think there are some points that we gotta tackle when talking about it. I have no doubts about the impact that McDermott has had with Brady and his style with the Bills, because not just in football, but in football, I think we see it more often because you have an offensive team and a defensive team and special team. So people tend to divide the team by areas and try to pin everything on that coordinator or on those players. But at the end of the day, it's a team sport, and all the units gotta be meshing together, right? So you won't play just defense with the defensive guys, but with ball control football, taking control of the clock, being able to have long drives. And we've heard McDermott talking a lot of the time, and I'm not out there saying it's the wrong way of playing. There are several styles, and that was McDermott's style, and it worked a lot. Because the Bills have won a lot of games, so it's not like it didn't work, right?
That's right.
But
that's true.
It's not like at the same time when they have the meetings and game plan meetings, it's like, okay, Joe, go and do whatever you want with the offense, and then we'll do whatever we want with the defense. No, you gotta be at the same page, like we're gonna play a certain style that I want the offense to be able to have long drives. I want the defense to be able to not allow quick scores, and we always saw our defense being a kind of a bend but don't break defense with McDermott. So we hardly ever saw big plays against our defense. It might change now. We'll be more aggressive, and there are positives, but there are negatives at the same time. So I really believe McDermott had a huge impact, not just on Brady, but on everything. And that's why simply removing McDermott from the equation makes such a difference. And they are, at least they are selling it to us like, okay, they aren't directly saying, look, removing McDermott solves all the problems. It's not like this. But they are like, there are a lot of changes. Even Josh talked about the new unis and the changes, right? So new stadium, new unis, new vibes. And so, yeah, there will be changes. I think our offense will change. We don't have Cromer anymore, and Cromer was a huge coach. In my opinion, the best coach pound for pound we had, experience, production, everything. And he was a major factor in that run game. He was maybe the architect of that run game. We don't have him anymore. So I expect a lot of changes, obviously, Brady isn't the same guy from LSU. He isn't the same guy from the Panthers days. He obviously learned a lot of stuff under McDermott and with Cromer alongside him. But he's, at the end of the day, a pass-happy guy, a former wide receiver, a guy who likes to air it out, right? So I expect to see a lot of changes. And one more point that we can't forget, he took over when McDermott was arguing about first Dable and then Dorsey throwing it out too much. So if you are having an opportunity and you are taking over for somebody who just got fired for throwing the ball too much, you obviously will try to run the ball a lot. So it's not a problem anymore, right?
DT, you know that. I mean, and these are going to be the last 2 episodes that we ever have to talk about McDermott, and I'll be happy about that. We've got offensive preview this week, defensive preview next week, and then I'm ready to put it to bed, DT. So I'm not trying to beat a dead horse. Did McDermott, in your mind, DT, have an effect on how Joe Brady was calling plays? Because I think that Fernando kind of hits a chord with me where, I mean, he's absolutely right. I mean, Dable and McDermott used to butt heads because, Dable obviously loved to throw the ball all the time. And then the same thing with Dorsey. And I feel like the way that Brady was calling the plays was more of a direct effect of how McDermott wanted the plays to be ran. Again, not saying that he's in the headset saying run on this play but in those game plan meetings, I'm sure, especially last year, because I think he was trying to protect his defense, DT, and the talent that he knew that he did not have. I think that McDermott had had a larger role than maybe a lot of Bills Mafia wants to admit.
Well, Joe Brady wouldn't be here if he wasn't similar to Brian Dable and he wasn't similar to Ken Dorsey, right? He was the quarterback coach during that regime of Ken Dorsey, and because he had similar beliefs and similar attitudes to Ken Dorsey and the prospect of what the offense was going to look like. I think that's a very fair assessment to do what your boss needs you to do. I'm sitting here recording this, this episode in a place that's not the batch pad in Linden, because I've done what my boss needs me to do, and we'll get into that later, Nickel City Crew. But the fact of the matter is that's part of the game, and you're not the head coach. So the head coach has the say in that. I agree. I don't think he was in the earpiece saying we need to run here, we need to run here. I think it was more of a, we need a 12-play drive. We need a 7-minute drive, coming out of here. And it worked, obviously. We were in the divisional playoff every year, an inch away from the Super Bowl multiple times with that offensive mentality, with the screen passes or whatever. We set a franchise record of touchdowns with no receivers and yada, yada, yada.
You're right.
So if it is protecting the defense because you didn't have the talent, that's great. That's why Sean McDermott was here. He is the head coach. He needs to see that on both sides of the ball and not say, Joe Brady, do your thing, and then sacrifice it on the defense and we can't make a stop. It happened in the playoffs. It happened every year in the playoffs when push came to shove and you couldn't hide anymore. It hurt him and he didn't know any other way. And that's why he's not the head coach of the Buffalo Bills anymore. But I don't think it's a matter of, Joe Brady had all this crazy stuff that he wasn't calling because of McDermott. I think it just fall in line and know your role. And his role was to win ball games and keep Josh Allen upright. And he did that for the most part, under that. Now he's the head ball coach. We talked about this in the offseason. He might now have a lot more to worry about. So he's not overthinking stuff and all that finicky stuff we complained about over the last couple of years. He doesn't have time to overthink that. He's just going to call and go. So we'll see what happens. We bitched and bitched and bitched for years about it. We need an offensive-minded coach. We got the best quarterback in the world. We need an offensive-minded coach. And now we got it. And it's somebody he's comfortable with. So I think it's a little overblown that he was suppressed and all these type of things. I think he did what he needed to do as an offensive coordinator. I think he's going to do what he needs to do as a head ball coach. But he is also understands the compromise, right? You can't just go deep every play, right? And especially you have no idea what this defense looks like, and we'll get into it next week. But you have no idea what this defense looks like. So there has to be still some conservative situations on the offensive side of the ball. And Joe Brady coming in is the first time. Who has he learned to be a head ball coach from? It's Sean McDermott.
Mm-hmm.
When he was in Carolina, it was Matt Rule and, whatever. What did he learn from him? Yada, 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 or at Orgeron in LSU. Mm-hmm. But he's learned from Sean McDermott. So he's going to carry over a lot of the same traits because that's just what he's familiar with. That's what he knows. He doesn't have time to study all these other coaches. He studied Sean McDermott and worked under him. So he's going to carry a lot of the same traits into this year as the head ball coach. But yes, he now has the open playbook. So I think there are going to be some new things we see, some folds in the offense, but I don't think it's going to be a massive difference by any means. I don't think we're going to be the most rush attempt team. I don't think James Cook is going to win the rushing title. And half of that is because you have the best quarterback in the world, and everybody's so scared shitless to get beat that James Cook had a lot of open boxes. So
Okay.
there's a
Okay.
lot of factors that go into
Okay.
that, but it's not just because Joe Brady's now the head coach. He's like, okay, we're going deep every play. He only knows head coaching from a guy like Sean McDermott, and now he's into that head, and he's going to lean into some of those traits. But we're going to see some differences, but I don't think it was like he was suppressed. He couldn't call his playbook. I don't think it's anything like that. I think it's just winning ball games down the stretch. It's a
Okay.
17-week season. You
Okay.
know, when you got to keep guys upright, you can't keep the defense out there in 3 downs if you start getting frisky. So I hope it's a happy medium, but I think it's a little overblown, and it's not going to be as crazy of a difference as people think it's going to be.
Okay, well then hold that thought, and I'm appreciative again of all of your time again, Fernando, all the way from Brazil. Again, check him out, Fernando Schmude of Buffalo Rumblings. Our other guest that I talked about to start the show, he's here from the golf course, WGR's finest. In my opinion, he's WGR's finest, Nate Geary, and he's already a friend of the show. I mean, I hope you've been shooting low today, Nate, and I hope that the scores were nice and low for you. We'll get to that at the end of the show. Listen, Nate. We've been having a discussion just to start the show was just how much did Sean McDermott really control what Joe Brady was calling? And Fernando says it's going to be different. And I think that the consensus here is that, yes, you want to make your boss happy, Nate. You want to make your boss happy. If he says we got to do a little bit more of this, we got to do a little bit more of this, then you're going to do what your boss says to make him happy because you want to keep your job and you want to show that you're competent. Did McDermott have a big effect? I think definitely that he had a way bigger effect than DT does, and that's fine that we don't agree. Did he have an effect? Was it not that much? Was it what? I don't know. DT and I differ.
So first and foremost,
welcome to the crew. Welcome to the crew.
Do I sound all right here? We good?
Yes,
we good?
You do.
All right, cool. I like to do a sound check, and I didn't get to do it prior. So, so listen, I got in. I caught most of that. There's some things I agree with, some things I don't. Here's the thing. I think we've all probably at some time in our life have coached at some level, right? And we've all been. I was an offensive coordinator for a couple of years under the coach that coached me, and then I got a year to coach as a head coach. And I just remember thinking to myself, like, hey, when you're in that position, I'm going to do this a little different, and I'm going to call this play this way. But I think what you also have to take into account is it's almost 3 layers back from McDermott, meaning that run scheme that we've seen for the better part of 3 or 4 years, that's Aaron Kromer's. So it's not even Joe Brady's run scheme. So I think, like, when you consider the fact that this is a run scheme that now is completely his, it's a passing concept. It's I could tell you DJ Moore's handpicked by the head coach. I could tell you, like CJ Gardner-Johnson's handpicked by the head coach. So there are some decision making just from a personnel perspective that you can see as hey, I respect what, kind of Sean's philosophy was, but we got to move in this direction. And I think anytime, you're an offensive coordinator, you're one away from the head coach, there's going to be things you're thinking during a game, during a season where you're like, hey, like, I understand the philosophy there, but here's why I would do it differently. So I think that the run game is going to mimic a lot of what we saw under Aaron Kromer, but I think you're going to see a lot of Sean Payton. I think you're going to see a lot of outside zone. I think you're going to see a lot of the use of the running back out of the backfield in the pass game. But I think more importantly, I think this team probably the second Joe Brady took over, I'm sure there was, what's the number one thing we need? We need a true deep threat. We need somebody that can stretch the defense vertically. We need somebody that can create some more separation and some more space to work in the intermediate and underneath game. So I was on, I forget where I was on, but I've sort of been hitting this point for the better part of a month or so, which is this is the first time since Diggs, probably Sanders, Gabe Davis, and John Brown / Cole Beasley, where you look at it and you say they've got a 3-phase passing attack. They've got deep, intermediate, and short game. They've got guys that can do the middle. They got guys that can do the perimeter. And I think it's the first time I've looked at this offense and specifically the passing game since Diggs left, where I said, right now, DJ Moore could have 80 for 1,210 touchdowns. And I think you would probably say that that's that's probably one of the best offenses in football when you consider Dalton Kincaid is going to run. If he can be healthy for
if he can
17
be
games,
healthy,
which we haven't seen, right?
Yeah,
But I think James Cook is going to get 10 to 12% more in terms of targets in this pass game. I think Ty Johnson's up for a boost. I think Khalil Shakir is probably the one guy that's going to take a little step back in terms of production, because I just think there's a lot of mouths to feed now. And it's very clear if you guys have been to practice or if you watch practice, this is an offense that wants to stretch the ball down the field.
That's right. That's right.
Like I said, I came in, there was a lot of things I was nodding my head with, but there's just a couple of things where I'm like, I just remember what it was like. Somebody you respect, somebody that has been a mentor to you, and you're like, hey, I get what you're thinking, but I'm a little younger. I'm a little bit more offensive minded. We're going to shift that philosophy just a
little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. Fernando, it's funny that, because Nate and I think alike a lot. And again, I don't want an echo chamber at Nickel City Crew. So I'm happy, DT, that you and I, because we rarely disagree, DT. So I'm happy that we disagree because it happens so infrequently. Fernando, I'm interested to know, because Nate talked about something that I love to talk about, and that's 14. This is the first time since Stephon Diggs has left that I truly believe that Brandon Beane addressed the situation. Now, he might have done some patchwork stuff where he's trying, he's trading for Amari Cooper at the deadline. He's, bringing Brandon Cooks in last year. Talk to me, Fernando, about what you think when it comes to pass catchers. So we'll shift over to pass catchers now. What do you think that DJ Moore can bring? Because to me, I think that his addition is immense because of all of the other things that it creates around the offense. And that's kind of what Nate spoke to. And I've been harping on that shit since we signed him. And I know that the training camp highlights are cool to see. But Fernando, can you speak to what you think a guy like DJ Moore can do? Because I think that there's a large portion of the Mafia that does not remember how sweet shit was when 14 was around. It was pretty sweet.
No, absolutely. And DJ is still an awesome wide receiver. And that's another point to what DT was talking about, because Brady only could work with what we had last year. So that was those were the weapons he had last year, and we really didn't have much. We saw some games when opposing defenses could stop or run game, or at least contain or run game, and when they could make us one-dimensional. We saw sometimes Josh struggling. That really concerned me, because when you have Josh Allen, you aren't supposed to be in a bad spot when you have to throw the ball. And it speaks a lot, in my opinion, about the wide receivers and the weapons we had last season. And not coming back to 14, but also to Amari Cooper, because Amari Cooper wasn't the same, obviously, as a Bill, but he still was able to do some stuff when we needed him. I remember against the Chiefs, for example.
Brandon Beane likes to say we scored 7 more points per game when he was playing than when he wasn't. So
yeah, and I remember, for example, against the Chiefs, Spags was trying to send some of those blitzes cover zero, and Josh could punish them with Amari Cooper one-on-one, making them pay just a couple of catches, but game-changing catches. So, absolutely. And he wasn't the same anymore. So now having DJ Moore in the big picture now, we just drafted a guy to be able to also maybe give us what Gabe Davis gave us when he was a rookie, and complementary piece to Sanders, to Bees, to Diggs. So I think Brady really has weapons now to create a more balanced offense. And just like Nate said, without Cromer in the picture, even Nate can maybe tell better than me, but a guy I trust a lot and is big time friends with Nate, Eric Turner has been on record saying that sometimes even Cromer was calling the run plays. So without Cromer now, obviously it wouldn't be intelligent by Brady to completely get rid of everything that really worked in the run game. No. But Cromer isn't there anymore, and he will end up trusting more in whatever he works with, his weapons and his schemes. And he brought Carmichael in, he brought Fox in, so he has a lot of experienced guys alongside him to try to not go just the McDermott way. But there is a reason he has said, I'm come from Sean Payton 3, so I'm curious to see it.
I love that you said that last part. And before we get back to Nate, DT, I keep hearing about Carmichael, and I keep hearing about the Sean Payton tree, DT. And I keep hearing about the fact that he loved to use his backs, the backs, as receivers. Listen, James Cook, I think that he can catch the ball. He hasn't always done it when we needed him to in some big situations, playoffs, stuff like that. He drops balls, different things like that. However, I think that there's more to unlock with him. I just don't know if they're going to give him the opportunity because Ty Johnson is so damn good on third down. And the number one thing is Josh trusts him. Trust is a huge part for a quarterback. DT, do you think that there's going to be a more opening up of the offense in respects to James Cook getting opportunities on third down, out of the backfield, screen passes, whatever the case may be, or wheel routes? Because I think that Pete Carmichael is like a wild card because I keep hearing his name and I know he goes way back with Sean Payton, like way back.
Well, I think 17 can trust 4 pretty quickly if he already doesn't. I mean, you look at
like picking up
we pay him like we pay him enough to be a 3-down back, and now with Bijan getting his money and his
don't
agent
talk
coming
about
back.
Do not talk about paying.
Maybe not anymore.
Homie's gonna be holding out if you keep talking like that, bro.
Yeah,
definitely holding out. You already know
his agent says let's get what his, and all right, so let's see you for 3 downs. I mean, if he can make people miss and be elusive as he is in between the tackles and outside zone, whatever the case, why can't he want to reel out and catch a ball and get open, get on the jug machine if you can't make the catches? His biggest drop was that Philadelphia game in a couple of years ago when McDermott needed out to go to overtime, and that was some bullshit. So we get back into why can't he be a 3-down back as you look at Ty Johnson going down in practice last week. Hopefully he's okay. We're going to need him. Ray Davis needs a resurgence, not on the kick return squad, as an actual running back on this team. So the depth is there, so I don't think it's needed per se, but it's something we haven't seen, especially with something. It doesn't have to just be on third down. Why can't we throw throw to the running back on first or second either? And we bitch about the screens and the tunnel screens, but on second and 8, we throw a nice screen to 4, and he busts out a 38-yard game. We're gonna like the screen. So I agree. We're going to see some new things, and Cook is now. Thurman Thomas was on Rich Eisen this week, I think, talking about how he's talking to 4, and he wants to be a 3-down back and all those things. So we're going to see a lot more of that, which is great. We have the depth to see if it's not him, it's still the same concept. If it's 26 or if it's 7, it's still the same concept. And some of the craziest throws to a running back were to Ray Davis in the Jets game a couple years ago. That deep rollout and to the Dolphins at home when when Bass hit the 60+ yarder to win it at home against the Dolphins after Halloween, right? So the running backs out of the backfield are great, but that's just another layer to this offense. I sit here and talk about when we didn't have DJ Moore, how we're going to replace Stephon Diggs and replace those 1,000 yards. And yes, Khalil Shakir going to give you this. Yes, and we're banking on Curtis Samuel to give you like 300 yards, and he can't even get that. Or Josh Palmer to give you 300 yards, and he can't even get that. Well, now we just need DJ Moore to get us 600 yards, right? That's a very low bar to set to fill those gaps and be productive on offense. And if the running backs get involved too, that's even greater. So there's a lot of folds, a lot to be excited about when it comes to that. I like that James Cook is eager and ready to get out there and be into the passing game. We need him too. I've always not really understood why he hasn't. It doesn't have to be just third down that we pass the ball to the running back. So I'm excited to see how all that adds into, like, we don't need that much to be successful.
All right. Before we transition, then I'll just throw in the fly in the ointment. Nate, you had spoke about 3 levels, and I got DJ Moore and I guess Josh Palmer's been blowing up at camp, and he's been doing some great things, and I love that because we wanted him to be that, and obviously injuries sapped him of his production last year. I can't rely on 86, right? Nate, you're not going to tell me to do that. DT's not going to tell me to do that. Fernando, all the way down in Brazil, you would never tell me to do that, Fernando. You're not going to tell me to rely on 86. I think that this is the year that he proves that this is the year that he has to prove that his draft stock was worth it. I think that the Bills got caught with their pants down. This is my opinion. I'm not putting it out on anybody else. I think the Bills wanted one of those receivers. The receiver run came, they got left, and instead of going defensive, they went with Kincaid. I haven't seen it yet. I understand that when he's on the field and all the analytics, Nate, say that he's great when he's on the field. If you're not on the field, I understand that harkens back to one of McDermott's truisms. Your best ability is availability. I am not relying on this motherfucker at all. If he shows up, great. I'm not relying on 86. And I know when you talked about the 3 levels, he would be that middle level, stretching the field, stretching the seams. I don't know. I'm not holding my breath.
So let me tell you this. I think that if you asked me, Nate, what Bill's offensive pass catcher is Josh most in tune with? Who does he?
Nate, what Bill's offensive pass catcher is Josh most in tune with?
Dalton Kincaid. I do think so. I think that.
Wow,
I think that
interesting.
The routes that Dalton Kincaid runs, Josh Allen throws with the most precision. Those in breaking, like everybody talks about how Jalen Hurts can't throw over the middle of the field. Well, I'm thinking of the opposite for Josh Allen. Josh Allen is one of the best over the middle throwers in football. And not only that, but think about this and think about just from an aesthetic perspective. If you're throwing a deep corner route, where do you want that corner to come from? Do you want to come from the boundary or do you want to come from the hash? You want to come from the hash. If you're throwing a ball that you're leading over the middle of the field, you have less margin for error for a route that starts closer to the hash over the middle of the field. I just think aesthetically, I think in terms of his ability to create separation, I think his ability to make catches over it, like it's sort of an extension. Like I think about that the Denver Broncos touchdown in the playoff game. That's his specialty. I'm with you in part of why I'm probably going to be the guy that convinces people this is the breakout year for Dalton Kincaid is you
got to convince me for sure because I am not sold.
It's a money year, bro. If he doesn't, he's leaving tens of millions of dollars on the table.
That you can want it. That don't mean your bulky knee going to cooperate.
I agree. I think you're looking at what happened with Ricky Pearsall this year is the exact same thing that happened to Dalton Kincaid last year, and he still fought through it. Pearsall's going to get season-ending surgery. It's over for him. He fought through, I think, the hard part. I don't think the knee's going to be an issue this year. So if the knee's not an issue, can he stay healthy otherwise? I think that there are 4 tight ends in the NFL today that are true mismatch guys. I think it's Bowers. I think it's McBride. I'm trying to think of the other guy that I really want to put in this group because I think Kincaid's in it.
You think he's in that group? Now.
I think he's in that group.
God, I haven't seen the fruit yet. I have not seen the fruit.
Well, here's the thing. I think when he's on the field, he's that guy. Mm-hmm. I think that when he's not on a pitch count, he's that guy. If he can play 60% of the snaps, I think in 10 personnel, I'm going to put quotes in 10, because I think their 10 personnel includes Dalton Kincaid over Coleman, over Palmer.
Yeah.
So, but I just think it's big. It's 11 personnel, but it's really more like 10 personnel because he's your 4th receiver.
Yeah.
So I think as long as he's not on a pitch count, he's in for a big season.
Fernando, all the way from Brazil, do you agree with my buddy Nate Geary's assessment? Because I mean, I don't know. I know that the analytics love him, Fernando. They absolutely love him, and they say every time he's on the field and EPA, and the offense runs smoother with him. How many times do you want me to run up and kick the football, Charlie Brown?
Oh, I actually agree with Nate, and
of course everybody agrees with Nate.
My question with Kincaid is how much of the low number of snaps to him is a pitch count because of his knee situation, and how much is
I think that it's been a huge part of everything that he's been doing.
How he can't really play in line, That's my problem, my question with him, because last year I felt like several times I could call if it was a pass or a run play based on Kincaid on the field or not, and that's a huge problem for a guy that you
used to say that last
pay
year.
And is one of your biggest, if not the biggest weapon in the passing game. But
you're right.
I don't question his impact as a receiver, and I really believe he's really important in the passing game. The problem is this: I need to really know if he can play more snaps, if he can be on the field more in those situations where you run the ball sometimes, so you don't become so predictable
You're
with
not
him on
tipping
the
your
field
hand.
and becoming a pass play coming. I felt like last year it was a huge problem. We saw several games Knox and even Hall's playing more snaps than Kincaid, and hopefully it's more because of the knee and not because of how he can really produce in that 2 tight end sets.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, tonight's episode is presented by Buffalo Fanbase, the official Bills Mafia podcast network that DT and I simulcast on. Head on over to Buffalo Fanbase. They've got all of your content creators. I'm talking the K-Gun Report. I'm talking Circle the Wagon. Listen, they've got everything that you need over at Buffalo Fanbase. Check them out. They've got good content creators as we approach kickoff. Now, listen, as well, our tonight's episode is presented by I-86 Network. Shout out to my boy Tom Wujek, Bobby Hansen. They've got a great site over there. Check them out as well. We'll be simulcasting on them and their network all throughout this 2026 NFL season for the Buffalo Bills. Check them out as well, I-86 Network. Fellas, okay, as we transition then, I understand everything that everybody's been saying. I don't want to talk about 86 anymore because it makes me mad because he's going to be a PCL injury in week 12, and then we're going to be trying to nurse him until the playoffs. No problem. Listen, we've talked about Bean. We've talked about Bean. We've talked about Brady. We've talked about the differences. I'm wondering about Josh Allen, and my question is, DT, as we send it around, he's now a dad, and he's now, he's got a newfound motivation. They say when you become a parent, you've got a newfound motivation. I'm wondering because he had talked about, I think it hurt him the other day, talking about, I can't wait for my daughter to go to the parade and stuff like that. I don't know if he specifically meant 2026 or if he meant, to be another year down the road. But I feel like Josh is on a trajectory where I finally feel like he's free. Again, you and I don't agree, DT. So I understand, I feel like I've always wanted him to be able to walk like Patrick Mahomes gets to walk with his offensive coordinator. Just name the quarterback, Stafford and McVay. All the quarterbacks get a chance to walk with their offensive coordinator. And really, Josh Allen has not had that opportunity. Do you think that there's anything different with the dynamic? Because even if you can't say that the plays are going to be that much different, or McDermott didn't have that much difference on his hold on the offense, I hope that you can agree, DT, that Josh Allen should be more free. Number one, they would have not hired a head coach that he did not approve of. I don't care what anybody thinks. If anybody thinks different, then your head is literally in the fucking sand like an ostrich. You are not paying attention. They would have never hired a head coach that he did not want. So if we take that as face value, that he wanted him, DT, I got to feel like he's got his guy. He's got his wife. Got a new baby. He's feeling great about life. We should see him unleash. With all the Twitter people that I argue with from Ravens Flock and all these other people that I argue with on Twitter, we should see a great Josh Allen. Oh, but you know what I'm talking about, Nate, because you're on Twitter with me, man. Not more than me. You can't.
I was just in New Jersey, and I met a couple of Ravens fans from Baltimore, and man, they were like, I really, just something about Bills fans. You guys are really, we don't have any bad blood. I go, what are you talking about? I fucking hate you guys. What are you trying to sound like? Come on, man.
Oh, I love it.
Don't go soft on me now because you're in person. I know what you're doing on Twitter. I know what you're doing on Twitter.
Yeah, Nate and I know how they roll on Twitter.
Twitter fingers.
Especially after that top 10 quarterback reel came out with the standings. DT, in a long short, is Josh Allen more free? And I'm not saying that he's a different person, but I'm saying that he's got his guy. He flexed a little bit. He didn't get McDermott fired necessarily, but he got the guy that he wanted. And I think that there's something freeing about that. Okay, I got the guy that I want. There's no more excuses, so to speak. I feel like he's got his guy, and that should free him up to be the best version of himself. Does that make sense, DT, or not?
Trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers, and I'm glad we got out of that tight end drama, right, Nate? But but no, if Joe Brady is relying on 17 as he's relying on the stuff he learned from Sean McDermott. He's relying on 17 to pick up the slack. Okay, now I have a lot more responsibility. I'm not going to have this aspect in the offense. I need 17. Year 9, you best believe you're running that offense. You best believe that you got to call the shots out there when you need to call the shots out there. And that's so it's a rely on that. Josh Allen is a quick study. He's been coachable. He's gotten better. All his critiques, his entire career, he's gotten better on after coaching. He isn't a psychopath anymore. He doesn't. He's not as careless as the ball. Yeah, he doesn't run as recklessly anymore. He is very anything you've ever had a critique on 17. He's fixed in some way or nature. Right. So he is coachable. He is an easy study. And right now, Joe Brady's going to rely on him to pick up the slack for what Joe Brady can't put in the extra hours for. So, is it the family? Is it the this? And we've talked about, Haley makes me know that I'm more than football, yada, yada, yada. Well, then great. Now you have a kid. So win a Super Bowl so you can retire, right? Win a Super Bowl so you're not drooling at when you're 40 years old. Win a Super Bowl so you can get the hell out of here and nobody and it's all good. So
I knew it.
That's where I'm at with this whole situation. It's not wrecking his focus. He's here to win. He's here to win a ring, and that's it. And if it shortens his career, it shortens his career, but we need one first, and he knows that. So if it's the salt crunching under the tire of the bus as you go through the street on February, whatever, through Delaware Square, and his kids there, God bless it. But I think the mission is still the same. He knows his responsibility has increased now. I think Sean McDermott tried to separate that a ton. He took some off of Josh Allen. He took some off of 17. He almost was, I wouldn't say upset, but he definitely made it a point to not hype up 17 as much as the world has hyped him up because he was that type of guy. It's all uniformed. It's all one team. I think Joe Brady gives a little more. No, 17, you be you. You are the leader of this city. You are the leader of this franchise. You are the leader of kids that I'm so jealous of going to elementary school wearing 17 jerseys when the best I could do was an Eric Moulds jersey going to elementary school. So the point is 17 knows it's graduation for him as well. It's not just same old ball. It's not just same old. You're year 9. It's you need to pick up some slack, and I think he's ready for that action. And that's where I zero doubt. I think Sean McDermott tried to underplay every one team. We're not going to put somebody on a pedestal, but Joe Brady's like, yo, I need you on a pedestal 17 because I got a lot of other shit to worry about. I need you to take care of this.
Fernando down in Brazil, is Josh more free, or is that am I off on that? Is just, when I say more free, I don't mean that he's going to go back to Sugar High Josh against Houston. That's not what I mean when I say that. What I mean when I say more free, Fernando, is that it's my team. I'm running shit. I'm the main motherfucker in charge. And listen, man, I got a coach that's going to back me up, and I'm ready to go to war. I just feel like he's just more free. It's just, what did Alec Anderson say? And then I know that the Bills don't like him getting out there on the media, but what did Al? He said we walking around like our assholes.
He's like the cool uncle. Cool uncle.
He said now we got the cool uncle. I mean, at the press conference when Joe Brady came, he said we walked around like our buttholes were tight. And now we don't have to do that. And then he comes out a couple weeks ago and says, like Nate said, the cool uncle that we can hang out with. I feel like Josh should be empowered by this move. It's really what I want to say, Fernando. I think he should feel empowered by this change.
I hope so. I think to have this kind of head coach as a leader, you got to trust your leaders in the locker room. You got to have good leaders so you can still have the discipline, but also be yourself like Brady has preached and still be successful. I would die on the hill that the best version of Josh Allen wasn't the MVP version, and it was the version that I saw under Dable going into that playoffs and that run that unfortunately ended that way that we don't want to even talk about. But
13 seconds.
I think that was the best version of Josh Allen, a version that got the green light to really lead that offense, and then you play complementary football around him. Not this latest version. Like last year, I felt sometimes like they wanted to help Josh, maybe taking the ball out of his hands, having a really good run game, and trying to win even without Josh, or just with Josh being a threat, but just handing the ball off. And then when things went poorly, let's go, Josh, save us, right?
Please go put on the cape.
Yeah, put on the cape, be Superman and save us. I feel like it's time. People compare Josh to Peyton Manning, obviously because of the career and taking the time to win the first Super Bowl and stuff like that.
Going against Brady.
And yeah, I think it's time to give Josh the keys to the offense, just like Manning had, and I won't compare Josh to Peyton Manning mentally speaking, but I feel like Josh is not just people tend to think has a cannon of an arm and he's athletic and stuff, and forget how smart he is, how good he is in the mental part of the game, So I think Josh can be this kind of quarterback, and he can make the checks and maybe check out of a pass play to a run play if he feels like the box isn't loaded enough and stuff like that. So I hope Brady really does what he's talking about. He says all the time, we have Josh, and Josh helps a lot, and a lot of stuff about Josh. I hope to see it translating in this approach, really handing him the keys and allowing him to run this offense, to be a Peyton Manning as a leader of this offense, and at the line of scrimmage as well.
Nate, is Josh free, or am I overstating it because I can't stand McDermott? Again, these are the Nickel City Crew, Bills Mafia. These are the last 2 episodes I'm ever going to talk about McDermott. We've got offense tonight. We appreciate you joining us. We've got defense next week. And after that, that motherfucker's dead to me. Like, it's all good, man. It's over. It's over. Nate, is Josh, like, is he I feel like I guess maybe I'm not explaining it properly for the audience. I don't know if you guys are picking up when I'm putting it down. It's not like I'm free and let's just run. Like Alec Anderson, I understand he's a character and stuff like that. So I understood why right after he said that, Joe Brady was like, well, you can't really listen to what Alex says. Like, we don't like to put him in front of the media because he talks shit like that. Like, I understand. It's not like the parents are not home. Let's go trash the fucking house. That's not what I mean. When I say free, it's like, man, I just don't like this tight ass helicopter dad, helicopter mom is not over me anymore. And I just feel free. I feel like it should bring out the best in 17. I don't know. I just something about it. I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, like, hey, welcome to Buffalo Bills post game. Caller, you're on the line. Rob be like, yo, McDermott sucks, Nate. Like, McDermott sucks, bro. He sucks. It'd be, the Bills will win by 3 touchdowns. Be like, yo, McDermott is the reason they didn't score 4. He's the reason they didn't win by 4.
You pulling my card. You pulling my card. Since 13 seconds, I have never forgiven it. You're right.
Listen,
listen,
you're
talk to the audience, bro. Don't talk to me.
You're consistent, bro. No, but I want to make one funny point here. All I'm saying is I got a lot of friends, right? I'm one of the only few guys that's not married with kids. Anytime one of my boys gets married with kids, you know what? Their golf game don't get better, bro. Their golf game does not get better. When they got the wife and the kid, they're not on the course as much. They're not as locked in. I'm just saying.
DT can relate. Look
I'm
at
just
you.
saying. But I will say
brothers.
this: it looks like Josh's game is still on the course anyway, still locked in. But listen, I think there's something to be said about a quarterback that feels like he's got a guy at the helm that knows him. That knows how to call an offense and has surrounded himself with weapons. And I think if you're talking about being free, I think there's something to be said about maturing and kind of growing into a position that Josh has. And I think, I might want to turn this on its head for you, bro. In meaning, I think that there is probably a sense of responsibility, a sense of guilt. I think Josh has talked about this, about McDermott getting fired after that game. And listen, I think even if they win that game and they lose in the AFC Championship game, I still think Sean's gone.
McDermott's gone.
But I do
game
think
he had 4 turnovers in.
Yeah, that's right. I think that there is. I think that more so than a freeing feeling because he's got a guy that he knows and that a guy he signs off on and an offense, blah, blah, blah. Like, I think that I think anytime you have a sense of guilt, anytime that you have an added motivation, anytime you can find a little extra, a little extra to play for, I think that the greats always find ways to find more motivation. And I think listen, they're always going to be motivated by winning the first Super Bowl, right? But I think the last couple of years there's been this sense of, I think about this team under Josh Allen. They've been at their best when they've been underappreciated, when they've been undersold, when the last couple of years where after 2020, it was like, oh, this is the best team in the football and they're winning a Super Bowl. And then, I think they're better in that position of being under,
but it's hard to be an underdog when you're this good, this long.
Yeah, correct. And I think that he's got a little chip on his shoulder. I think that he feels a sense of responsibility for why Sean's not there anymore. And listen, I think we all could agree, like, I would have loved for them to win a Super Bowl with Sean McDermott, because I think he really personified at the end and before he was fired and that lead up to the last home game at Highmark. That guy really did bleed Buffalo, and I think that he feels that sense of like guilt, that sense of responsibility, like, hey, listen, it's fucking time to go win one, and if it's not for Sean, it's for the team, but like,
it's for the city.
I also want to say something too, is I think if they won a Super Bowl this year, I would very much expect Sean McDermott to get invited to that invited to that parade.
I don't have it. I never had any.
I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it.
With the big fat head with the axe through his face.
Nate is trying to rage bait me. OJ's family can come too. I never cared who won it. Like, it didn't matter if it was Marv Levy. It didn't matter if it was Sean McDermott. I don't care if Rex Ryan would have fucking run. It would have been in her frat house and just slid it off the rafters. Yeah. Like, whenever it happens, it happens. I don't care who was at the helm. So like, I'm different from that respect. Like, yeah, sure. I never had anything against Sean McDermott. 13 seconds scarred me. That's a good answer, Nate, because I don't know. I echo a lot of the things that all three of you guys have said, is that I just think that it's just different. And like you said, Nate, added motivation. Sometimes I keep hearing people tell me he's a dad now. I don't know how to quantify that. I've never been a professional athlete. I've got 4 kids. I know I'm plenty fucking motivated to make sure I keep food on the table. You know what I mean? But I'm not trying to go out and get a Super Bowl. So like, I don't know.
Yeah, but tell me after that third kid, your knees didn't start hurting a little more for no reason. For no reason. You're like, you're like, I need a new mattress, man. My back don't feel the same.
So Nate does Josh then act now. You got to act now. The time is now. I agree. Yeah. When he turned 30, that was the thing. The 3 in front of the age. I said it on Nickel City Crew multiple times, bro. My life ain't getting better. My life ain't getting better. Yeah. I ain't waking up. I ain't waking up from drinking 10 vodka waters easier than I was 5 years ago.
That's right. I got to drink water afterwards. I'm thinking about when I get home, if I still have Advil bedside, because if I had, I mean, that's just it. Everything hits different, bro. Everything hits different.
Oh, I love it. Listen, I appreciate everybody's time tonight. The Nickel City Crew Tailgate Report, as we wrap up tonight, is presented by Queen City Vintage. Check out Queen City Vintage. Listen, they're right across from 40 Thieves on Elmwood. Check them out, my boy. And DT's boy, Nick and Kai, they're doing they're doing everything that they need to be doing, man. They're listen, all the Buffalo Bills, all the Buffalo Sabres, throwback, all the nostalgic gear that you need. They have got it for you there at Queen City Vintage. So listen, check them out. They are still our official sponsors of Nickel City Crew this 2026 season. We'll be having weekly giveaways starting week 1. All right, Nate, it's been a while for you being here. Fernando, I don't even think you've ever been a part of the Tailgate Report. Tell us about what you'll be doing tomorrow, how you've been enjoying your summer. We'll go through it quickly as we end the show tonight, and then DT and I will wrap up. Listen, Fernando, down there in Brazil again. I can't wait to come visit you for many reasons that I cannot mention because sometimes my mom listens to this shit. I promise you, Nick. Listen, Fernando.
Exotic defenses.
Wait to come visit you. I can't wait.
Yeah, exotic.
I heard Fernando. I heard the scenery is great down there. Let us know how you're doing down there. How the summer been for you, Fernando. Again, check him out, Fernando Schmude. He is from Buffalo Rumblings. You can check out all of his content. He's on Twitter. He's on Instagram. Fernando underscore Schmude. Listen, tell us how the summer's been. Tell us how you're going to watch the game tomorrow. DT can't stop laughing. I heard the scenery right down there in Brazil. I can't wait to come visit you, brother.
Yeah, man.
I don't know what everybody laughing about. I'm talking about
here. It's actually winter here, right? Because I'm wearing here a hoodie.
Oh, it's winter.
But our winters aren't really cold like in Buffalo, right? So I always struggle with the Fahrenheit and Celsius change. But
their
like
winters are our summers. I don't even want to hear, bro.
Exactly. It's
equator,
like right now it's, let me check, but right now it's like 17 Celsius, and we are cold here.
So what is that? That's like 60 something?
Like 60?
Like 63. How has the summer been, Fernando? How will you watch the game tomorrow?
Yeah, just anxious, and we'll watch at home, and I really like to sit down on my couch and really pay attention to everything, because recently I've wrote about at Buffalo Rumblings about the some competitions for spots, obviously, and
left guard.
Curious about that left guard spot. Sure. Curious about the wide receivers,
linebacker now,
and mostly defense. A lot of competition on defense. So, but can't wait, and thankfully tomorrow we can have Bills games on TV every Sunday again, every weekend again. So let's go! Can't wait.
So
thank you so much for having me
tomorrow. You'll just watch the game. You'll be at the house. You'll just chill out.
Exactly.
Let us know where you at. Okay, you'll be at the house. Sounds good.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, Fernando, as always. Listen, Nate Geary, you just saw Joe Miller asking, how did you shoot? He said, how did Nate shoot him today? I mean, did you shoot low? Where was the golf course you were at? Did you shoot low? And what the hell are you doing tomorrow?
Well, it's funny because I saw Jerry Ostrowski and Fina out here today.
Ooh,
I was grinding out here, because I hadn't played in a couple of days. I was on a work trip. I was all right. I think I'm tied for 8th right now. We got 2 more days. It wasn't my best work today. But I got a couple more days to get after it. So here's the thing, guys. I've been trying to play golf sober. So I played the first 9 sober.
Why, Nate?
Because I play 100 times a year, bro. I can't be drinking that many days. But the second 9,
you just got no kids.
I know. But I cracked the surf sides in the back 9, and I played much better on the back. So I got some momentum going in tomorrow. Listen, ladies of the night down in Brazil. I mean, that's all it sounds like.
Think about it all the time.
The ballet.
I think about going to visit Fernando all the time.
That's right. Yeah. The Brazilian Broadway. I appreciate that. I got more golf this weekend, but listen, at least it's Brazil, and you're not talking to me about like Thailand or something, because I'd be starting to worry about you, bro.
No, Brazil. I want to go check out Fernando and just look at the skyline. That's it. That's all I'm talking about.
But I will not be on the broadcast tomorrow for preseason.
Okay.
Now,
are you headed down there?
No, I'm gonna be watching right from the country club bar in here after our round tomorrow.
Where you at, Nate? Where you at?
I'm in Hamburg, at Cloverbank, the old Briarwood Country Club. So
nice spot, Tom. Good.
So Joe was there today. Listen, I'm looking forward to this season, and it's going to be unique for us. I mean, this is the first year we're not carrying Bills games live. So my role's a little different, but for pregame, postgame, it's all going to be the same for us at GR. We got a little like Manning cast, game cast situation during the games. It's going to be a lot of me, a lot of Zach Jones, Owen Parker's going to be in there, Brad Ryder. So we got some good stuff ripping for during games, and looking forward to a new season, bro. Like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic about what the year has in store for us. We talked a lot about Josh. I'll be listening next week when you guys talk defense. Because I think that's the biggest question mark. Because if they're better than they were, if they're better than they were last year on defense, it feels like they could. Listen, it's a deep AFC, lots of great quarterbacks. But if their defense is marginally or even maybe notably better than it was last year, I expect their offense to be better. I know the schedule is tough, but
it's a really hard schedule.
They could be the year they finally win the AFC if both units are playing better. So,
I'm so nervous.
I gotta get one hot take in. Mecole Hardman is making this football team. By the way, he's gonna be their number 6 receiver. But I got a big one for you. He's going to be the return man. He's going to be a guy that can stretch the field for them a little bit. But I also think that very much on the defensive side of the football, a guy that I expect to have that they're going to try to find a way to keep him. But Javon Solomon, I think, is going to be a guy that fits this defense so perfectly. It's just it's what he does. He's an outside linebacker. He's been having to play 4-3. He's a 3-4 outside linebacker. It would not, especially with maybe Hoyt still maybe on a pitch count,
easing his way
Javon
back
Solomon,
in.
I think Javon Solomon's going to have a good year this year.
Interesting. I like that. All the way from Brazil, for Fernando Schmude. Check him out on Buffalo Rumblings. And again, WGR's finest. In my opinion, he's WGR's finest. That's why I fuck with him, because I fuck with Nate. My son, my middle king's name is Nate. Like, we already had kindred spirits, man. He's a 3-time guest now. We really appreciate both of your times tonight. And again, fellas, listen, I appreciate you guys. So we'll check back in with you for sure. But I do appreciate you both, sincerely. DT, I mean, I don't know, man. It's funny because you go first, man, because I got hit with a bombshell today. So you go first. What are you doing tomorrow? Because I got a bombshell, and I'll go last. All
right, Nickel City Crew. We got some things in the rumbling. We're not going to disclose it right now, but we are not in Buffalo, Nickel City Crew. I'm not in Buffalo doing this pod. We are remote. We are remote. We'll get into it. It's a little teaser for our fans as we move forward. But I got one thing to say in the Queen City Vintage Tailgate Report. Last week, I went to the stadium. I went to the stadium for the blue and red scrimmage. I played in a golf tournament with Ben and Anna Kay, our tailgate hopefuls, right? And we had a great time. We shot well in Erie, Pennsylvania, and then we shot right up to the stadium. Had a beautiful time, saw the place. It's an awesome place. My biggest takeaway, I won't get into everything, but my biggest takeaway, when you scan your ticket, you walk through that gate, you instantly see seat, you instantly see field. It's time to ball. It's time to fucking ball. And that's what you see when you walk in. And that's what gets me hyped. It's not a concrete wall. You got to walk around. And there's some other takeaways we'll get into as the season goes. But I am sick of the bitching. I think it's a society problem. This is the nicest building. This is the nicest thing. This is the nicest situation Western New York has. Bar none. This is the nicest thing. Bar none. And we're going to sit here on the first time it's open and bitch about it all week. And the media is going to take it and run. That the new Bill Stadium sucks. Excuse my language. My mother listens to the show. Your mother listens to this show. Fuck off with that. Fuck off with that. This is the nicest thing.
I couldn't stand it, man.
This is the nicest thing we got in Buffalo. We came out of a concrete bowl, by far the worst stadium in the league, and now we got something nice, and it's not perfect. I've been to stadiums that are better, sure, but it's caught up, and it's what 17 built. It's what Terry Pagula built, and we have to accept it. It is what we have, and it's going to be home, and on third down, it's going to be the loudest stadium in the league. So quit with this. Miss me with all this. It is time to win a Super Bowl in the new stadium. New uniforms, new coach, new stadium, new ring. Miss me with the bitching. It's a society problem. Everybody wants to bitch, and I'm sick of it. It's bullshit. It's the nicest thing Western New York has ever had in a city that consistently gets bashed for being a piece of shit. And now
That's
we have
right.
something nice, and all we want to do is talk about how bad it is. Fuck off with that. Fuck off with that. Fuck off with that. Let's go 1 p.m. tomorrow. Get in your routine. Know what it's like to be in a 1 p.m. game. You got to get into the stadium. You got to go through the flow and do your thing. Do your routine. The starters will play. Let's go out there and get some good reps. But I am fired up, Rob. I hate the bitching going on. What is the alternative? What is the alternative? The alternative is Bon Jovi taking him to Toronto 10 years ago. The alternative is playing in a concrete bowl and pissing in a trough. This is the nicest thing Western New York has. I'm sick of it. We got 17, the best quarterback in the world, new stadium, new coach, new uniforms, new ring. Tailgate report.
My goodness. I don't even know if I can do my tailgate report after that. Listen, not only do I echo and I back up everything that DT said on that as we wrap up tonight, I just was kind of just disgusted this week about how many people were bitching about obstructed seats. First of all, they should have told you that there was a possibility that the seats were obstructed. If they didn't, then call your ticket guy back and get your money back, or try to find a way to transfer your tickets. What I don't want to hear is all this national rhetoric around people that never went into the stadium talking about how the stadium is garbage and this and that because of a few hundred obstructed seats. No, none of those national guys.
GR begged on Monday. GR begged. WGR begged Monday for people to call in. Call in and tell me about how you were affected. Not a single person in that seat said, hey, I have this seat. I paid X amount of dollars. I can't see the field. Not a single person.
No, it's all secondhand shit. And I think that it's just easy. And DT is absolutely right. It's easy to bag on people. It's easy to bag on stuff and kind of and rag on shit that you don't know about. I think that it was just kind of a little bit disgusting. I think that if your season ticket holder told you that you were going to have a seat that was unobstructed, and it was, then call your season ticket holder or call your account manager and switch your seats out. Or and if they don't want to switch, get your money back. But I don't want to hear about this. It's a palace, DT. And speaking of palace, I'm sitting here today getting ready to work, and all of a sudden Quincy's mom calls and says, I got a flight. I'm taking Quincy to the preseason game. Me and Nate were hot. When you talk about what the kids say, jelly, I said monster, because that's what I call, that's his nickname. I said, monster, you getting ready to go see the new stadium before me. So Quincy, my youngest king, is already on his way. He's going to go enjoy the game tomorrow. His aunt has season tickets. And yeah, I mean, they literally, she picked him up today, went to the airport. So Quincy is getting ready to go see the new stadium. Every single video that I saw from DT, every single video that I saw from all of my boys last week was nothing but immaculate. The concourses are wide open. You're not crowding over people anymore. The bathrooms are wide open. There's no troughs like DT said anymore. The food is great. I don't really understand what you're complaining about. Like I said, if there's a few people that have having a problem with obstructed seats, call your season ticket holder, call your account manager, and switch your seats. Or fucking get your money back. But I definitely don't want to hear another week of WGR talking about obstructed seats. I argued with people on Twitter, DT, that did not go to the stadium like you did last week, trying to tell me that the stadium was garbage. And I'm like, y'all motherfuckers don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what else to tell you. The stadium is a palace. DT is absolutely right. I can't even add on to it. He did it too perfect. It's the nicest thing Western New York has ever seen. It's better than any casino. It's better than anything that we've ever built before. And I encourage everybody to just enjoy it. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. When you go there for the Detroit home opener, everybody is going to be outside of their mind. And I hope everybody enjoys themselves tomorrow. DT, preseason tomorrow, Bills Panthers. Like I just said, King Quincy is on his way up there. I just enjoy. I'm jealous as hell. Like I wish I could go and sit in an obstructed seat and try to see the, like, come on, man. What the fuck are we talking about? And we stand for the game half the time anyway. Like,
yeah, that's what exactly. Exactly.
It doesn't make any sense, man. You hit it on the head. I don't want to keep trashing on your rant. Your rant was perfect, man. Listen, DT, I appreciate your time tonight. Defense next week, DT. Defense next week. Now they say defense wins championships. Now, you know that I don't necessarily agree with that all the time, but it's important because
so you got 17. Yeah.
Shit, ain't nothing more stressful than the defense this year for me, and we'll get into it next week. We've got another great guest lined up for you tonight. Next week for the defensive preview. We really appreciate you guys tonight. TGIF Friday could be doing anything, and we really appreciate you guys joining us. Listen, DT, enjoy the game tomorrow. Enjoy preseason. I mean, let's all just pray Josh gets out of there healthy. What did they say? I think Joe Brady said 10, 12 plays, something like that. It shouldn't be long.
Yeah.
It should be a drive.
Man, whatever. Yeah. Get loose. See where the play cocks are. Play action. Go deep to 2 in the first drive, and we'll see on September 17th.
I like it. September 13th. Down in Houston.
My bad.
Yes, because that's Bobby's birthday. Yeah. There you go, man. Listen, I appreciate everybody tonight. Our guest, Fernando Schmude, Buffalo Rumblings. We thank him for joining us tonight. Nate Geary of WGR. We thank him for joining us tonight. DT, I ain't got nothing else to say, man. I can't wait to go back and listen to that rant. You are absolutely right. Everything you said was spot on, man. DT, enjoy the preseason game tomorrow. I love you, brother, man. Enjoy it.
I love you too, Rob. It's good to be back. We are in it. We're still a month out from the season, but we are in it, baby. Balls are flying, pads are clacking. Tomorrow we're gonna see some ball, and I can't wait. I can't wait. Josh Allen is revitalized, relived. He's free. This is new stadium, new coach, new unis, new ring. Let's go.
I love it. Listen, out there, spread love, not hate. These were my Bills thoughts said out loud. Hit them with a go Bills, DT. Go ahead and hit them with it.
Go Bills, 1-0. Carolina.
Go Bills, DT. Come on now.
Go Bills, 1-0. 1-0.
Oh, I love